Shavua Tov, Motzei, great to see you guys again. Here we are. Last week we were off. I was in the Barocas, Barocas with the family for Yeshiva week, and the week before, sadly, I was sick. So just to give a brief chazara, we started the Gemara in Shabbos 31a on the 6 questions that you're going to be asked when you go to Shamayim. We went through the whole Gemara. We did an introduction to it a little bit. It was a longer shiur to open up the first question, handle questions. We asked you guys to have some questions of your own, and so we're not going to do too much chazara on that. But I did want to address at least 1 or 2 things that some folks asked ahead of time, and then we'll dive right into question number 2 for the night. Okay, so a few people asked, well, I don't understand, like, why are these talking the questions? What about Torah and mitzvah? So I asked my Rabbi, Rabbi Jacobs of Mochen Yaakov. I sent it out to a few guys, and I said, listen, some guys are asking me some questions about this. They're solid questions. What's going on? And he said, it's important to know, these are the 6, but that's like presuming. Of course you did Torah mitzvahs. These, in a certain sense, are the extra credit, like did you live an actualized life questions. These are the 6 questions to help you address whether or not you did a little bit more above and beyond the norm. And that's going to dictate and determine where you are, who you are, and what your standing in life is, and in Olam Haba and beyond. Because it's not just that we need to do Torah and mitzvah, which many of these will fall into the category of, but there's a little bit more to it. It's, did you actualize yourself in all of the ways in the world that you should be? And all of that will fall into these 6. Cool? All right. And then we also tied each one of these 6 questions to the 6 orders of the Mishnah. And we talked about, did you conduct your business financial affairs faithfully? We mentioned the home office situation that I don't, love when people claim when they shouldn't. What's your quote-unquote home office? Does it pass the red face test? How are you honest in business if you're working? How are you honest in business if you're learning? And we went through all that. But tonight, so see that shiur if you want to recap. Tonight we're going to address head-on, hopefully, numbers 2 and 3. Did you set times for Torah study? And did you engage in procreation? We're going to have a caveat there, obviously, in a healthy Torah Dika married way. Okay? So, question number 2. I first want to put to the chavra is, what do you really think it means to be, what does it really mean to be kavata itim laTorah? When we say being koveya itim b'Torah, what does that mean? It's probably on your shilch resume. What's it mean, Rabosai? What's it mean to be Kovei It? Oh, there he is, Eliran, coming in. What's it mean? Night Seder? Okay, so clarify. Boys, what's it mean? How are we Kovei It?
5 nights a week. Am I really Kovei It with Torah with that? Like, it's not mamish every day? Or is that
Good question. Oh. Keep going. So if I only learn 4 out of 7, let's be clear, there's 7 days in the week.
Hold on.
What if I only learn 4 out of 7 days in the week?
What about like a Yom Kippur Jew? That's once a year, every year on the top.
This is a Chabura thing also.
Oh, that's true too.
And let's say they actually read the Siddur.
Oh, very good. We're asking we're Eliran, who just popped in. We're on the second question. Did you set times for Torah study? We're asking, what does it really mean? The Mishnah, the Gemara says, kavata itim laTorah. What's it mean that you set times for Torah study? One question was, is it okay that it's 4 out of 7 days? Another was, what about the Yom Kippur Jew? I learn Torah once per year. Like, what's it mean to be? Let's let that. I don't think that passes the red face test. I think we could all agree on that one. But let's see what it means.
I can see for someone on a certain Madrid that's like.
Okay. Nobody here is on that Madrid. We're all way above that now. We're all way above that now.
If I have to miss a night to go on a date or whatever it is, or even if I'm just a crochet, I miss it.
Very good. Very good. So this is the topic for tonight, Rabosai. And y'all got to strap in, because this is when Rabbi Bob is going to get a little, a little Sfardi. It's exactly right. A little Kareem tonight. A smidgen, just a smidgen. And I'm gonna we're gonna start with the caveat that it's equally applicable to me as much as everyone else do. Okay, I missed 2 weeks, right? I was sick and I went out, right? Just for the shit. Yeah, we gotta all be in the sugi of where we are and what it is to be kovei itim. When we talk about being kovei itim b'Torah, but first I want to build you up. It's important to know that nobody asked you to learn all Shas. Right? Nobody said that you have to learn everything in the whole entire Torah. Nobody said that what you have to do is, did you learn better than that guy? No. The question is, did you set time? It also doesn't say to study what part of Torah. Very clear about this. Did you set times to learn Torah? Sorry. Did you set times to learn Torah?
So it says, whatever age, what you should be
We don't paskin that way though.
No.
You'll see it in the yeshiva settings all the time. There, for the video, for the recording, there's a mishnah that talks about like at what age are you supposed to do this, supposed to do that. At this age, I get chachma. At this age, you get wisdom. At this age, I learn mishnah. All that. We don't actually do that. If you look at the yeshiva setting, that's not how it's followed whatsoever. Like my kids are not going to follow that track at all. I don't even think in Zilberstein and in like Eretz Yisrael where they're like really. I don't think. But you're right. Back in the day, that is exactly the method that was implemented and that was used for how you educate what you do. But for whatever reason, we have deviated substantially from that path. I'm not saying that's not a mission. And when I say we don't paskin, I mean that's not what the school system utilizes. That's just like not saying we're anti that mission. It's just that the schools don't really follow that if you look at it and you track it. But maybe we should be. Don't know.
Anyways, nobody said you have to learn it all, but it does say that you can't stop.
Very good. Very good. So that's another aspect of this. This says being kovei ita b'Torah, but that says I got to learn Torah every second of my life? No, you don't. So let's just address that one head on. We also know that there's an idea of being oseg b'mitzvah pater min mitzvah, and we also know just normal is that you have to chill and be normal. Mm-hmm. Let's just talk about both of those, right? Because chilling and being normal on Netflix, no, that's not what we're talking about. Chilling and being normal in the context of I need to get a good night's sleep, right? Chilling and being normal, I have to eat a breakfast. I don't have to learn when I eat breakfast. Like I don't have to do that. Chill and be normal. I need to do some reflection. He voted is a very powerful thing to do. Yeah. When I'm involved in helping my kids, when I'm with my family, when I'm working, when I do, you'll realize that your day is actually, hopefully, with the right kavana, you're actually filled with mitzvahs that you're doing. That's the whole point. Like working is actually a mitzvah if you do it right. Yeah. So that's crucial. And so therefore you don't have to be learning, all the time, 24, because you're oseg b'mitzvah, pater min mitzvah. Here? Okay, so that one's to the wayside at least a little bit. But let's go back to what does it mean to be kovei ita b'Torah? I'm going to tell you straight out. It means you learn every day. You learn every day. Period. There's no day you miss.
Okay.
Ever. Everybody in this room, everybody in the Chabura, from wherever spectrum, every single person who is a Ben Torah should be learning every single day. What that means, we can address. And for how long, we can also address. But so, let's just go through this real fast, right? This is it. The second, it didn't ask how much Torah did you learn. This is the source sheet, or this is my part of it. Because each person is different, and your job is not to learn more Torah than someone else. You have a set of life circumstances, and you're going to be evaluated based on your life circumstances. Not the son of the Rosh Yeshiva who learned with the best mentors and finished Shas before you even got to Aleph base. Okay? Like it's based on what Hashem expects of you and what He put you here to do. And again, I can't stress enough, we are all here for a unique mission in life. And yes, we have to learn Torah, but like osek b'mitzvah, pater min mitzvah, I think the biggest osek is actually fulfilling what your mission is. And so it might not necessarily be 100% in that world. So it could be very important that you might have to, of course, be osek in Torah, and of course learn and grow and figure out how to, halacha for your family, and hashkafa for yourself, and musar so that you can grow, and mishnah to be a well-rounded person, and gemara also so you can know pilpul and dialect, and the whole everything. And for other reasons also, just because how about Hashem told you to, so we do that too, right? But you don't have to learn everything, and it doesn't have to be that you have to pin yourself to somebody else. Now, the real linchpin behind what we're talking about here isn't necessarily the question. The real linchpin of what we're talking about here is not necessarily the question. It's what the question is implying. Were you osek in Torah? Really means, did you make Torah the center of your life? Let's say that again. Did you make Torah the center of your life? Yeah? In different denominations of Judaism, yarmulkes go on and off, but ours stays on the whole entire time, not just when we walk into a synagogue. Were you osek in Torah and avoda the whole entire time? Were you there? Is it your end-all be-all, right? And so let's get really real now. Is your learning set in stone, or does it get uprooted like things, right? I moved that Chavrusai, Miss Night said, hey, you know what, Sunday morning with Rav Bainis? Nah. Like, that's not keva. You didn't make it keva, right? And you're going to be judged on that. You're going to be judged on that. So how binding and solid and set are your learning commitments? Put differently, and I'm not looking at anybody, eyes are literally closed, are you flaky in your learning or not? So let's be clear. And I'll tell a Maisa. When I first started learning, one of the things that I really loved were English Sfarim on the Parsha. Now I put one out. I loved English Sfarim on the Parsha. So every day I would say, no matter what, I'm waking up an hour before I go to shul. Okay? I'm going to say brachas with kavana. I'm going to have a cup of coffee. I still remember it, in the Chabura House myself. However eons ago that was, 11 at its point. I would wake up, I would say brachas, I would have a cup of coffee, and I would learn an English sefer for about 5 to 10, maybe 15 minutes. That's it. And I would say to Hashem, and I knew I would have night seder anyway. And I told Hashem, I'm being kovei itim l'Torah right now. It's only 10 minutes, but nobody touches this Parsha Musar experience that infuses my day with Kedusha and Tahara before I go out to a law firm to work at, which was at the time what I did, and then I transitioned to doing a business in the Chabura. But nonetheless, whatever it is, that was my time. And you might think 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Yeah, because that was my kovei itim l'Torah time. Of course, I learned other Torah that whole day, but every day at that time, no matter what, nothing I never missed. Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, Sunday, doesn't matter. No matter what. And you start small. And you tell Hashem, this is my time to be kovei itim Torah. Okay? And that was it. And then I would go out, and yes, I would go to night sitter, but what happens invariably at the nighttime? Yeah? What happens at nighttime? So Rabbi Jacobs of Machan Yaakov always says, learn in the morning. No one can take that away from you. You might never see, I don't know how many of you have actually seen the 5 a.m. on your alarm clock, but boys, it exists. 4 a.m. also exists,
Stayed up and
4 a.m. is like a good time.
4 a.m. you wake up in the morning.
That's when I used to go to sleep.
Bad news. That's like college days. Bad news bears. We're from Velvet. When you go to it's true. So you might never have seen these times on your alarm clock, but start getting used to it. Nobody is going to schedule their vort, their chasana, their sheva brachas at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. I'll even tell you 7 in the morning. Okay? You might get a bris at 7 in the morning, but even still, let's be honest, you have the chakras at 7 in the morning, and then that bris is probably after that 7:45. How many brisim, unless it was like a Nate's minion that you went to, was like, okay? But even that, nobody schedules that type of stuff at that point. Therefore, Rabbi Jacobs always would tell us, learn in the morning. Now, for me, that was profoundly, and is still profoundly challenging. I was always a night type of person, but I always had internal consistency to motivate me not to miss stuff in the afternoon or the nighttime. That said, of course you did. When I was dating my wife, I of course had to miss. She was all the way in Washington D.C. Of course I traveled, right? It's all a lot at the time. So what do? No matter what, Hashem, I'm kovei itim l'Torah right now at X time, every day of the week, doing Y learning. Whatever it is. For one guy, maybe it's the English Parsha shiur, the Parsha shiur, the English Parsha Sefer. Maybe it's your Gemara Seder that you have. Maybe it's Kinyan HaMasechta, who I don't know what it is. But I'm telling you, when you leave the Chabura and you don't have night Seder handed to you on a silver platter, you're going to have to figure out how to put it there. This is one of the ways of doing it. At least small steps. Nobody says that it had to be, that your time to be kovei itim had to be mamish, off the charts, huge, 2-hour learning seder. Right. Many of you are working. Many of you are going to be people who have only maybe an hour, 2 hours if you're lucky, to learn, or blessed in that way, to learn a day. Probably going to bookend them. 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour at night. And usually, when you're a married man, you're going to have to make sure that you find a wife who will let you go out to learn. And I'm going to say it like that she'll enable you and let you learn. Your kids might be sick and not able to, go to bed, and she may need you. But it's very rare that your kids are going to wake up, unless they're my kids, at 5 in the morning, okay? And sometimes they will, but even at that point, your wife will probably understand if you say at 5 in the morning, instead of right at the bedtime after a very long day, 5 in the morning, I'm Koviyat Lam Torah, and you're consistent about it. And you say, I'm out. I'm just not even here. B'chlal, 5 a.m., I'm up, I'm at the shul already, and I did my learning from 5 to 6. Or let's see, for the guys that want to sleep in a little bit more, let's be honest, 6. I wake up at 6 a.m., I'm out at 6:15 after I said brachas, had a cup of coffee, whatever, and and then I go to shul to do my little thing of learning that. And if you find a chevra of people that do that with you, you're golden. I'm not saying now do this, but keep this in your back pocket. Because when you don't have a learning seder at night like that, it's a game changer for being Kovei Itam Torah. Not only that, even if you do have night seder, things are going to uproot it, just like we said. So Rabbi Jacobs always said, learn in the morning. And if that doesn't work with you, go out of your way to make sure that you plop in your day something that isn't uprooted. Meaning, like I said, like the little parts. To this day, I don't stop doing this. I still will say brachas. I'll try to wake up an hour before shul. Sometimes it's earlier, sometimes it's later. But I will say brachas, have a cup of coffee, and I'm there right now with Rav Lubyansky's Parsha Sefer, Golden Apples on Shmos now. With my kids, like jumping on me, Abba. But nonetheless, my Kovei Itam LaTorah time is that moment. Even if it's 10 minutes for 15 minutes, and of course, obviously, Baruch Hashem, I've been doing Mishnah Yomi, other learning, things to prepare shiur for it. But no matter what, if all those other things fell off the wagon, I had that moment. You hear? Questions, comments, reactions.
It sounds like you want to say that the Osik Mitzvah, Padrim Mitzvah will not apply to this. If your Kaviyas happens to be using night Seder to accomplish it for that day, and you've got a date or something else comes up, a custom, whatever it is, that you missed out and you don't get to say yes after.
Very good. This is exactly when I'm Sfardi with the whip, right? And also, this is when halacha meets hashkafa and collides head on. Halachically, you're right. Hashkafically, no. You missed the boat. Halachically, you're right. Because I was always mitzvah, but were you Kovei Itam LaTorah that day? No one is going to say that you did any Aveira, but you don't get to check that box for that day on these questions. Like we said at the beginning, at the recap, these questions aren't, did you do mitzvahs? These are the above and beyond, almost, I don't want to say extra credit, because you still want to do these, but did I live the express, totally actualized life? Am I where I want to be in Olam Haba? No, you won't get credit that day. You didn't learn, let's be honest. Or you didn't learn at the top, at that kaveya time.
I'm not sure we hit this question the last time when we started this. What happens if you're saying no to some of these questions?
Well, what are you going to do? I don't know. That's I think that's way beyond the pay grade,
I think.
But nonetheless, you don't want to be that guy.
Sure.
I think saying that.
And this one's an easy one to tick the box off for. Being Kovei Itam Torah. I gave you the most. Sorry, 1 second. I gave you an amazing eitzah, right? Yeah. Wake up, find something you love for just 5 minutes. Or in the middle of the day, if you can do it, right? I don't know. You figure out when nothing touches your day. There's a point in your life when you're doom scrolling and nothing is touching your day. Or there's a point in your life where you're in the car every day going to work. That could be a shiur, be Kovei Itam Torah then. That counts. I'm not saying you got to be in a Gemara, you got to be in the Mishnah Berurah, you got to be in the. You could learn something and be Kovei Itam Torah. Tick this box now, and obviously that's a seed to hopefully have it grow to be longer times, deeper subjects, more things. But maybe not. Maybe that's your kaviyas. So yeah, it's a hard reality, but that's how I would answer. Yes.
Does it have to be the same subject every day? So
no.
Can it be
absolutely
one day machshava and another day be musar?
It could be totally different. It just says, did you set times?
Okay.
Right? It clearly says, right? Right? Kavata itim laTorah. Did you set times for what? For Torah. It didn't say for which area. Okay?
Right.
All right, so we want to be able to say yes to this question. Questions, comments, reactions. Anything further, guys? Pushback?
I imagine you also get to vary up when that kaviyas is, as long as you know, okay, this is something that.
Yes, that is a phenomenal question also, because you can say at a certain life stage, my kaviyas of time may change.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
Right now, maybe it's 10 minutes here.
Yeah.
Right in the morning. But as a married guy, Hashem will understand. Okay. He will know that you change your... And if not, you'll have at least what to respond to. When I was single and I had all the time of the world and nobody was bothering me, I made my kaviyas night seder.
Okay.
Or... if you were starting to date. I'm dating now, so my kaviyas isn't night seder necessarily, but I made sure to put something else here. You'll have what to answer. Yeah. And so I don't think that this means that your kaviyas is you decided 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, however from you are, where you are in life now. that at 8 o'clock in the morning, I think Hashem will be very forgiving and understand that you had to vary that given life circumstances. Yes. Use your das to figure it out. But don't vary that life circumstance daily. It's kavias. You have to be koveya, eat them, l'torah. Yeah? And it's liberating to realize just how easy this is for us now. There are programs that are literally daily programs for a reason. Yeah? There's Mishnah Yomi, there's Daf Yomi, there's Mishnah Brura Yomi. There's so many different Yomis that have been handed to us on a silver platter. You have Torah anytime that you could listen to in the car ride for a shiur. Anything. There are English Sfarim in abundance. And nobody said you have to go through the entire Sefer. Nobody said you have to go through an entire chapter, a paragraph. Connect to it. Feel good about it. Rabbi Avigdor Miller was also huge for me for a takufa of my life when they put those in English, because I was like, this is a game changer for life. Yeah, and I specify English for that moment because nobody will take it away from you, and it's profoundly easy. If you're a Hebrew speaker, okay, go with the Hebrew one. But whatever is easy for you to not just tick this box, but like to acquire it to start with, do that. Maybe it is that it's your night seder, nothing's going to touch that, and you're not dating right now, or even if you do, you're not going to make it around the time of night seder. Night seder is a whopping hour, so I'm going to change my date to be, maybe not. Realistically speaking, let's be honest with everybody in the room, 8 o'clock is pretty prime time for a date, nonetheless, right? Or 9, whatever. But you'll figure out how to do it, and that is crucial. So the answer comes down to, it's learn every single day. You'll be a changed human being. You'll be a better, growth-oriented human being. And if you want to acquire anything in the world of Torah, you have to be learning every day. You have to be learning every day. And to tick this box, not just be a checkbox Judaism yid, but like I understand what's going on in a holy way, be a person that learns every single day. Be a person that learns at the same time every day. And the other reason here is it's not just, did I do this? But it builds the muscle. This is now like a psychology aspect of being consistent. Okay. And again, as to close on this one, there are certain people in the Chabura that don't have consistency. Whether you're at the table, I don't know. We just know generally there are some folks who struggle in the world, on the recording, please listen, of being consistent. And this is something that helps flex that muscle. Because as a married man, as somebody who is relied on, you have to be consistent. There's no, oops, I missed the bus, mommy. You understand? Like, you either got that kid off to the bus or you didn't. That kid either got the cheder or he didn't, or she didn't, right? And so you might be you have achrayas for that, or whatever it is. Are you habitually, constantly late for work? These are things that being koveit in Torah will help you, no matter what, build that muscle of being consistent. That's a tangential benefit, but that's part of it. And not only that, but the biggest piece is it teaches you to put Torah at the center of your life. No matter what, this isn't touched by anything. Questions, comments, reactions, good? Yes, Sam. Oh, okay, good. So, number 3, and then we'll close. The third question should be pretty obvious. It has to be done in a Torah-dicka way. Question 3, for those who don't have the source sheet, was, did you engage in having children? Now, what about those who can't have kids? There are some people who literally just can't have kids. Okay? So our rabbis tell us to give tzedakah to poor people trying to marry off their kids. Or donate money to organizations, as Rav Banish even was just posting about, right? That actually help people when it comes to child rearing and childbearing, things. We could talk about in vitro fertilization. We could talk about all these different types of methods. There are things in the world of technology and science that are alive and well in the frum world to help individuals have kids. So if you're one of the people who are unfortunately not able to, then go out of your way to promote that through doing that. No, you don't lose out from this one by being infertile or not having the ability to do so, right? So go out of your way and do it. But beyond that, the Maharal says that this is really a question about how much expansion and continuation you have and want in your life. The Maharal is saying that this is more about legacy. This is more about recognizing, I had a kid, great, What is a child? What is a child? A child is the next link in the chain. I'll never forget this. Rav Orlowick, and I heard on the recording, I wasn't live for it, I wish I was. I think it was to a Machon Shlomo Chevra of alumni. And he put it very, 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 starkly for us. He said, we think as Baalei Tshuva, I want to do this for myself, I want to grow, I want to know, I want to do it. We're a bridge. As a Baal Tshuva, every one of us, I don't want to say is nothing more than, but in the most profound possible way, is a bridge to the next generation. Mm-hmm. Yeah? No matter what you achieve in life, you could be a Rav, published books, giving shiur, all this stuff, and that's all you. What did you give to your kids? Did you have any? What's left over when you pass on? What is spiritually left over when you pass on? It's amazing and wonderful to have a great, huge, policy of life insurance, or to have a 401k and of all these things, retirement, and to leave over a lump sum of physical abundance to your children. But did you give over anything spiritually to them too? It's not just did you have kids, did you raise them, and did you infuse them with Kedusha and Tahara and Torah, and did you give them over what you're feeling? Mm-hmm. We're a bridge. That's everything. Meaning, is life just about me? Or am I partnering with Hashem to try to expand His good in the world by building up the next generation? That's the real kicker. Mm-hmm. Questions, comments, reactions?
All the other questions seem like they're like an ongoing avoda that you could never actually finish. This would have looked like one that could theoretically be a box that you could actually just say is checked and then
very good.
The others.
But no, absolutely. Meaning you're absolutely right. Meaning I like that, because to some extent every one of these questions is an ongoing type of thing until you're nifter. Absolutely. And so when you think, I had one kid, I'm good. No. And also, by the way, Pru Revu, Rabbi Gershenfeld says, is not just I had the kids. I raised the kids.
Right.
I raised the kids. What's that mean? I was a patron. I was a patron. I was a porter. I was able to lift them up and help them, put them on my shoulders. Literally did that today for Shabbos. Like, you sing and you dance with your children. You do what you give everything you can to them, and you have to literally be their patron. You're their cheerleader. You're their Abba. So that's forever. That's forever. And that also is even if they're doing the wrong thing. That's also when you have adult children, right? This is beyond me now. You have to talk to somebody who has adult children. But that means even, adult kids. So it continues and continues. Yes, Sam, it does. So is this something that matters to you or not? It's not just I had children, I raised children. Pru Revu, by the way, is also having boys and girls and raising both of them if you can. What if you can't do that? What if you can't fall into the halakha criteria? I have 3 boys. Who knows, man, how many more it'll take before we get a girl? Don't know. But you just have to tell Hashem you did your absolute best. And you did everything you could, and you saw Das Torah on it. At what point do I have to have more? Do I have less? But you have to know that you at least had this legacy mentality, this spiritual legacy mentality about your kids. So when you go up to Shamayim, you can say, I did everything I could to give over spirituality to my children, and I was that bridge to the next generation. All right, both sides?
Okay.
I think that's everything for tonight. I just want to come full circle and say that we have these 6 questions. They're mighty, mighty, mighty important. And little by little by little, we're going to get further into it. The 4th one I'm super excited for. It's an awesome one, and we'll do that next week. All right? Shavua Tov.